I don't think you could hear me, but hello, everybody. Welcome to Actor Slash. This is Vanja Tapia, and I'm broadcasting live from beautiful Los Angeles, California. I'm an actor slash producer, and I'm the founder of Actor Slash Connecting Slashers. And I'm very excited today because I'm blessed among men. Today, I have four special and amazing, talented friends in the entertainment industry. They are specialists in they are those guys who will get you into every single movie and will put more flavor into the scene. And not only that, but who doesn't live without music? I have invited four great composers who also, many of them produce and write, and I would like to meet them. And they are logging in from different parts of the world. So I'm going to start with Jean-Pierre Gresset. He is a French composer, and he is just amazing. And Jean-Pierre, he goes back and forth between France and Los Angeles. And I just want you to meet him. Jean-Pierre, come please, come out. Let us see you. Jean-Pierre, if he's there, he is just
Hello.
Logging in from France. There he is. Hello, how are you, Jean-Pierre?
I'm fine. And you, Evangelina?
I'm fine, Evangeline. Now he knows my name, my whole name.
Yes. It's a great honor to talk with you because you are an amazing woman and with a big heart. And it is very important for us artists to meet people like you. Very important.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm going to quickly read a little bit of you because I'm just like so amazed. Sorry, I have to read it all because your biography and your resume is so extensive. It's just huge. And I want to put my glasses on. But Pierre is the worthy descendant of his illustrious ancestor, Jean-Baptiste Louis Gresset, from 1709 to 1777, who was French and recognized member of the French Academy. With Voltaire, he was one of the greatest poets of the 18th century. Jean-Pierre is a brilliant artist with multiple talents. He was born in France, in Burgundy. Actually, he resides between south of France and Los Angeles, recognized in Europe for his true artistic talents and his philanthropic and humanistic causes. He collaborates with a lot of French artists, like a lot. You guys gotta check out.
Yes.
I'm just gonna quickly start. I think something just kicked in, and I wonder if it's my own. Sorry, I'm gonna have to stop it right there. It's my own sound, but I hear myself. I don't know why. I hear it. Stop it there. Okay, there. Sorry about that. So just so you know, he is a member of the French SACEM. Do I pronounce it? Do you go by SACEM or SACEM, Society of Authors, Composers, and Music Publishers?
Yes, SACEM, SACEM. Yes.
Member of the SGDL, the Society of People of Letters. Member of the WGA, the Writers Guilds of America and the US. Instant Davy, an original project in daily radio TV. 4 scripts for movies, Messenger, Global Vision, Magic, Chameleon, Pixel, and co-writer for the US series. He wrote a novel titled L'amour héros, visible, available on Amazon in France and in French, soon in English, Punch de Coeur, available on Amazon.
It's a poetry book, the second one.
It's a poet. 2 Poetry Awards in Montreal, Canada, soon in English. He composes for many French singers and musicals as well. Le Roi Soleil in 1789, Bastille, Lovers. He wrote and recognized he wrote in a recognized journal, Le Petit Matin de Saint-Tropez, and he worked on the first edition of the Festival d'Art of Saint-Tropez.
Yes.
He collaborated on the song to represent the European Parliament, and he's #1 at the music website reverbnation.com/Ressé Jean-Pierre.
Since 5 years.
6 years now. Oh my God. Nominated.
You know, I didn't know that. A friend of mine say, you are #1 on this website.
He's
And
the
I
one
did
who
not
told
know.
you?
And I was surprised because there is a slash and #1. And I say, could you please delete this? It's not nice. And they say, you are #1. So I say, okay.
That's cool. That's very cool. And then 5 music awards, film festivals in the US, music movie for Sugar Boy from the Sake Drake, Fallen Stars, LAFA 19 Winter Music Awards in Los Angeles Film Awards, and nominated in many film festivals. #1 international chart-topping classic artist from 2019. Very, very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's amazing to hear this because it's my life, and for me, it's my normal life. So, but when I start to think about everything I did, it is a lot. But I did humanitarian action all over the world.
That's great. We're going to talk about that right now. Let's go with our next guest, because I want to know everything about Jean-Pierre. So this is another friend. He is another European. He is from Spain. He lives in Los Angeles, California. Originally from Madrid, Spain. Pancho is a 2015 ASCAP Dave Rose Award winner. 2015 ASCAP. I don't know if you guys say ASCAP. Film scoring fellow. Yeah, ASCAPs. Film scoring. You do. Thank you. Film scoring fellow in 2017 Hollywood Film Scoring Conducting Fellow. And after graduating from Berklee College of Music and Film Scoring and Composition, Pancho Burgos, who already revealed himself, got his first break working in the music department of a TV show like, is it Jericho?
Mm-hmm.
Kane and Harper's Island for CBS. He also worked on Disney's massively successful High School Musical 2 and 3, The Cleaner for A&E, and Common Law for US, among many other projects. Since 2015, Pancho has co-produced the score of the HBO feature documentary Becoming Mike Nichols and composed the TV feature films from Mar Vista Entertainment, Married by Christmas, Love/Resort, and The Christmas Gift. Shortly thereafter, in 2016 and 2017, Pancho composed significant additional music for MTV's Teen Wolf Season 5 and 6, Disney's Descendants 1 and 2, as well as Nickelodeon's Tiny Christmas. In 2018, Pancho was hired to score the third part in the wildly successful faith-based God's Not Dead, Universal Pictures theatrical franchise, A Light in Darkness, and wrote significant additional musical for a theatrical release of the biblical epic Samson. In 2019, Pancho finished work writing and arranging music Descendants 3 and the new High School Musical TV show for Disney, and has scored the TV film for Sweet Inspirations for Pure Flix, and is currently scoring 3 features. Versatile musician with formal education as a performer and as a writer. Approaches many music, and gosh, you're just amazing. Music forms several different styles with the ability to write in both classical and contemporary.
Thank you.
Pancho, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. This is nice.
This is great, and it's gonna get even better because from Colombia, we have David Murillo, who is I think he's in Medellin. He's gonna tell us in a moment. He's another great composer like you guys. And David Murillo is an award-winning Colombian film composer and music producer. Currently based in Los Angeles, his versatility has led him to score over 60 productions and work alongside singer-songwriters from all over the world. His composing work spans a wide variety of styles, ranging from 2016 Sundance multi-award-winning Between Sea and Land to the sibling rivalry coming-of-age story Blast Beat, also an official Sundance selection in 2020. Screen Daily landed his Sundance debut for composing a tearful orchestral score that sweeps in at key emotional moments. And during his 2020 return, critics praised his musical representation of the two brothers' rivalry as heard in the film. Smoothie electric scores that excels the contrast between them on a sonic level, the rap, as well as highlighting the raw and visceral charge on the original score to pump up the youth-driven energy of the film. That was the Hollywood Reporter. In less than a year of working alongside singer-songwriters, his producing and composing credits have amassed over 30 million streams on Spotify and 16 million views on YouTube under the name of Agalma. His musical talent, you know where to look for him, Agalma. Talent and eclectic mix of Latin urban sound have earned him gold and platinum certification for his latest collaboration, Cuatro Besos, with Lola Indigo, Lalo Ebrard, and Ron Alejandro. Welcome, David Murillo.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Nice to be invited. Thank you, Van, here for this amazing event. And I'm excited to share with all my colleagues about this beautiful art we all dedicate our lives to.
Thank you so much, David. Are you in Medellin right now?
Yes, I currently am.
That's right. And that's where you're from, right?
I am as well.
And from Mexico City, my hometown, my home city, my home country, Pablo Mondragon. He's a producer, composer, audience researcher, and film doctor. With his first feature film, he won a Diosa de Plata, which is like a very, very honor to have in Mexico, given by the press. So it's amazing. He had traveled in a broad diversity of music genres, and he loves to make catchy melodies. He sure does. He founded 10 years ago Marketing Movie Runner, a consultant firm for audiovisual projects from idea to international sales. Jury and a sponsor since 2016 at the FIG in LA, which is the Festival Internacional de Cine de Guadalajara, the International Guadalajara Film Festival, in the co-production market and the work in progress. Member of the Neuro Artes Institute. Since 2017, he's a member of the selection committee of the Jewish Film Festival and director of the master degree of film writing on the Universidad de la Comunicación. Since 2018, he is making inroads on sound design in his second film on a new perspective for sound design called Script Sounding, where sound and music solve lectures that the image in a script can't. It's 499 by Rodrigo Reyes, which just had won Tribeca and Hot Dogs. Some of his films, Lupe Under the Sun, Minnesota, Crónicas Chilangas, Parchís, the documentary with the Spanish band, Well, David, Piola, Nobody's Watching, Queda Strip, and After the Raid are in the platforms as Film Latino, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. Welcome, Pablo Mondragon. Bienvenido, Pablo.
my face is full of grass.
Yeah, now we can't see.
I'm like the grass man.
You sure are. So how are you doing?
All my life I wanted to be in touch with nature, and I mean I have just done it.
Nature is right now in your face, yes.
Okay,
Where are you, Pablo?
let me put out the background. No, okay, now.
So for all people, for whoever is watching, thank you so much for joining us. Please do write on the comments where you are you saying hi from. Most of us are Spanish speakers. Así que escriban sus comentarios. Muchas gracias por unirse. Díganos dónde están, de dónde nos ven. And if you have any questions, please write them down and I'm going to go through them soon. Because we already have a lot of comments right there and people are logging in from different parts of the world, which is amazing. So, Jean-Pierre, I know you speak English.
Yeah, I tried.
Do you speak hablas español?
No,
Nada. ¿En poquito? ¿Entiendes?
not in poquito. French, English.
Well, it's a very similar.
Yes.
The roots are the same. So there you go, the Latin roots and the love and the flavor. So today is very Latin. So guys, before we start, I would like to ask you, where were you when the pandemic, where were you in your career? Did you have to cancel any projects that you were about to embark when the pandemic kicked us back in pretty much most of the world stopped in March, but this is something going on since November, December, that started in, Asia, in China, but it started to like move super fast in Europe, and that was in Italy, France. So Jean-Pierre, where were you? What were you doing? And then what happened?
I was in France, south of France, and I previous to go back in Los Angeles to the studio, but I could not. So I work from my home, I compose from my home, and that did not change really things for me, because we can do a lot now from home with internet, and it is great. But I spend my time to compose and to write, and be careful because it's a very dangerous time,
Okay, yeah, that's good. But that's true. I mean, you work a lot from home anyway.
Yeah. Yes, a lot from home.
And how is everything going on in France? How are things?
The virus come back, never leave, but come back, start again. So we really have to be careful to put a mask and to respect the others. And, it's simple to protect yourself and at the same time you protect the other one. But we have to think it is very dangerous and we need to be very, very careful, very careful.
That's right. Well, how about you, Pancho? Where were you, and were you in the middle of any projects?
I mean, Hollywood stopped, so I was supposed to be doing like 3 feature films here in the States, and those never happened. And I was supposed to go on the road. I used to go. I tour a little bit with Winning Rome in the summers, and that got canceled. So a little bit like Jean-Pierre was saying, I can work from home, just setting up stuff. And I had a little bit at the beginning of the pandemic. I had a few holdovers from before, because production had already happened, and so we had post-production. But things are thinning out for sure. Just waiting for the world to start again. In a few months, hopefully. I just read an article yesterday that they were saying that Hollywood productions will start again in September. So let's see. I was supposed to do God's Not Dead for sometime this summer, and I literally just spoke to the production, to the director, and he was like, it's coming, but we're gonna have to wait a few more months.
Yeah.
So it's all good. I mean, the career is always like this anyway. It's like a roller coaster, even when things are normal. So yeah. So it's just one more wrinkle in a bunch of, in a series of wrinkles. It's kind of keep a good attitude about it.
Wrinkles. That's true. That's how it is. And David, how are things in Colombia?
Well, I actually came just before the whole lockdown started, and I was coming here to actually start several projects for the music production side of my career. And those had to be held off a little bit until, at least here in Colombia, national airports and national transportation resumes normally. In terms of film, thankfully, this is something that we all share, and it's that we work remotely in most of our life. So I was extremely fortunate to actually have a Netflix film that I just finished and then starting a second production for them as well. But that also has been shot just half of a season. So we're also waiting for kind of the normal life to take over. And Pancho is saying kind of something that applies to all of us. Our careers is always a roller coaster, and it's just getting used to the new normal that has been kind of the normal for composers and music producers their entire life. So if anything, I feel like the time actually has enabled us to connect ourselves and connect our creativity more so than before.
Right. And my dear Pablo, what were you doing when the lockdown started?
Well, one of the things that I like most of this career is to meeting people, of meeting amazing people and projects on the festivals. So what I what it clashes more for me was that we were going to Tribeca with one film that we had just finished last year, and we couldn't, no, and the film were two hot dogs, and we couldn't be there. I really was very happy because of that. And in terms of music, well, little things still happen in Mexico, and as somebody says, no, we work in our studios in our home, maybe. That's my case, so I can still working, but I am too in other parts of the industry. So we are making things for distribution for films in Mexico, because there's a lot of films that has to wait, because we all know that the cinemas stopped working, and writing. And I'm to like developing new projects as a writer, so the things still moves. I mean, the whole idea of the industry is waiting. I have been working a lot, but the music has just stopped for some for some months, I think.
But some of you have projects that are already like still moving despite the lockdown. Like Pablo says, he's also a distributor. So he's, in fact, right now, Pablo should be in a class that he's giving in a university. And he just was kind enough to leave someone else to take care of it while he's here. So many of you can see your work already out there. Like Pablo, he's distributing movies and looking for movies. How are you intending to distribute movies right now for people during this lockdown? Is it going to be a drive-in?
No. The thing is that, I mean, I love all kind of films, but in particular the independent films that normally cannot go into big theaters or haven't a lot of copies or go to many states, many countries or cities in Mexico City. So we are like trying to adapt that. The exhibitors, they have in line a lot of films, very big films, but the big distributors don't want them to put them, because the theaters are going to begin to open little by little, and when one of them opens, just 30% of the percentage of the audience could be there, so they have to wait. So now it's like slots opening for films that couldn't be there maybe in a normal situation. So we are lining that kind of films to make them go to theaters.
Right. And maybe some of the movies, guys, that you have put your music to are out there. Like in the case of David, you made Una vez en Venecia, no? With Juan Zapata, and I think is already out there. Is it?
It is going to be soon. Just like the Netflix film, we already kind of finished the whole scoring process, and we're just waiting for them to kind of think about the best strategy for both of those films. So we're hoping people can watch them soon, just because kind of the whole industry has definitely taken a hit because of the theaters closing. So we as composers always kind of wish that people can hear as soon as possible our latest work.
And I didn't know you were also the composer. You took care of the score of Bibi, the short film.
Yes,
I
Victor
saw it
Dueñas.
in Alib last year, and it's just been everywhere.
Yeah. Bibi was a blessing, and was kind of an honor to work with Victor, to work with JM, because it was a short film that tried to kind of convey a little bit about openness and sexuality between the inner circle of family in very young kids. And hopefully this will serve as an inspiration and kind of an example for a lot of people in the Latino community, hopefully in other communities, to just take that and learn from it.
Yeah, that is true. And Pancho,
Hmm.
do you have any projects that are coming into film festivals or anything?
I did right when it cat. I was thinking when you guys were talking, I did a feature film. What kept me busy when the pandemic first started is I started getting these Chinese films because China had opened up a little bit, and so I did a feature film that is supposed to be in theaters over there. I don't know if it's going to get international distribution or not. It was a nice, like a sword, sandals kind of a, almost like a Western, but in medieval China and what have you. And it's pretty good production. But that's it. I mean, there's no, there was a few short films that I had on festivals when things had not closed yet. My friend Julie Cohen had done a short film called Master Servant that got a pretty good run and got me a couple of awards for music. But it was in March, April, earlier in the year.
And Jean-Pierre,
Yes.
were you in the middle of something? Are you having anything out there? I know you're also a writer and you have a lot of projects that can
Yes.
on Amazon.
I work on commercial music for very important company, Tesla, Harley Davidson, and Maserati. And they asked me to compose music for their next commercial. And what I have to say is I compose music and I am a publisher. So I do both. So I work on new script, and a very big company will produce my movie next year. And I cannot say the name because it's confidential for now, but it's a very important project with one of the biggest movie company in USA. And as a scriptwriter, we work with Siri, and there is a chef scriptwriter, and is surrounded with 8 or 7 scriptwriters. It's not only one man, but most of the time, for example, Dr. House, Grey's Anatomy, Numbers, I work on this as a scriptwriter. They choose other scriptwriter to work with a principal scriptwriter. That is why all these series are so original and full of life, because only one man cannot do that alone. So I do that at the same time. I'm working on new series, and you will know that in about 1 year. It's very important. And I work on the music for movie, 2 big movie for 1 year, the same. But yes, as we say, this virus stopped many things. The movie industry have a virus too. So everything is report for 6 months, 12 months, something like this. But I never stopped to work. And we are lucky. We are lucky because we can work everywhere. We can work anytime, day, night. And there is no end for that. We just need a keyboard. We need a piece of paper and write what we want, That's an amazing job. And we are very lucky. And we never stop. And I have to say that, and I think I could say that, and my three friends, they will agree with me. We are ready. We are ready to come back and to give the best of us for the world, for the people, because they need that. After this, we have to make the world happy with our gift and try to make a better world with good music. And I'm sure my three friends, they understand this. And that is our beautiful work. You know, I never learn music. I compose. I'm sure you know how to write notes on the paper, not me. I receive this gift and I use it. And every day it's a gift. So what I'm doing, I give love to the world every day with words, with music, with everything I could do. And never give up, my friends. The virus will not stop us.
Thank you so much. Yes, I agree. I agree. And that is true. You guys give everything we do and we put on our work has to be with love, and that's what we put on. Thank you so much for saying that.
Thank you.
So if I was I just want to know where you guys get your inspiration from. I mean, did you always know you wanted to be a musician? Were you always were into music? Were you the kind of kids who will be always singing, or was it easy for you to play an instrument rather than, or you wanted to be a filmmaker? How did that change? David, for instance, I mean, I understand you play the keyboard, the piano, or what instruments do you play, David?
I started playing piano when I was pretty little, when I was 6. Then I complemented that with percussion. And then I actually kind of went to Berkeley through the marimba principle, so to say. And in a way, the funny story is that my parents are very numbers inclined. So they're both accountants, and they had heard in some place that music kind of helped the number inclined individual to have a better kind of performance. So at first I was just kind of enjoying myself doing music. I never thought about that being my future. And then a year before graduating high school, I actually encountered a beautiful moment, which was kind of seeing what film scoring was, what it did, and truly kind of opened the possibility of becoming the film composer. In a way, it has been something I've fallen in love with, and kind of the principal inspiration for most of us, I would say, is kind of the conversation you have with the director, what the film needs, because at the end of the day, we're not writing music for ourselves, but rather for a film or for an audience who wants to feel and be a part of the project. So for me, as I recall, kind of the biggest inspiration is always going to be the story behind it. And I don't think when directors ask you, like, what type of music do you write? Every time I get that question, and it's like, it's pretty hard to boil it down, but in my opinion, it's just, we write story-driven music. That's what we write. We write kind of whatever we need to achieve in order to complement the film. And per se, it is our biggest inspiration.
So you started when you were 6.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, because I went to your YouTube, but I didn't go to the YouTube account that you mentioned, the Agalma. I
Yeah.
actually found you as David Murillo R. And there's only like 5 videos. But I saw a marimba guy on the background, and I'm like, is that David? Really? I don't know. And then piano. But now it is you then. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to piano and marimba, do you play any other instrument?
I used to play in high school, kind of the trombone, just because I've always been a salsa lover. So I wanted to be a part of that, a part of the solos and kind of that whole journey. But nowadays, since we all kind of focused in writing for different instruments, I don't play any other instrument, but I think the skill for all of us is to know how to write for the entire orchestra and know how to mix that with
exactly
perhaps different textures.
Yeah, I can see all your friends and fans from Colombia already going like, "God, he is the best. We're so proud of you."
Presenting.
Yeah, Paola Rodriguez and everybody, they're just so proud. And how about you, Pancho? What was the first your first like contact to music? When did you know you wanted to be a composer, or when did your parents discover that you were talented with music? And what was your first instrument?
They did not discover that I was. I started very late. I started playing piano. I only know how to play piano. I'm really not that talented. And I started when I was 15 out of boredom one summer. And I started by ear and then, got the bug. And so my dad is a musician, is a pretty successful classical guitar player, concertist. And I never had any real interest in learning how to play music. I mean, music was around me and all that, and I'm sure that, helped a little bit. But one summer, my dad actually had bought a keyboard, and I started playing around with it and that kind of a thing, just to meet girls, I guess, or something.
Oh, I'm
And
sure everybody was like, "Oh, you mean you play the piano? Wow!
I,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
there
amazing!"
was
And
a guy. Let me tell you, there was a guy. Look, I always loved music, and I always loved soundtracks. Like I've been completely smitten by scores since I was, 4, and I watched Star Wars for the first time. But um, I remember in high school there was this guy that, as you think about. I mean, I don't know. I was playing basketball. I was just doing different things, skating or what have you. And there was this guy that played piano. There was a little theater group, and he was playing piano one day, and he played Purple Rain by Prince. And I never seen anybody be so smooth in my life. And I was just watching. And he had all these girls around. I'm not saying this was the main motivation, but it was just very cool to see how he connected to people listening. I guess if I want to put it in a more intellectual way. As a 14-year-old, I was like, that is so cool. And he was really smooth, and he was singing and playing, and I remember thinking, I want to do that. I want to have that kind of, connection, to the instrument, to how cool this whole thing is, just from a shallow point of view. And I sort of started playing bands, a few, and Spain, making music for a living is not something you really think about. I mean, you have dreams about it, but I never really pursued it. I went to college for a year for art, for animation and things like that. And then when I was 22, I started thinking I need to give it a real shot, and I applied to Berkeley and got into Berkeley. I didn't have the money to go there. I had saved up some money, so they gave me some money to go there because I was pretty good at classical player at that point, classical playing, and that was it. But once I decided at 22, I just went for it, But I was very late to the game, and my first 5 years I was just kicking around. It was one of those things that people tell you, oh, you're so good, you should go and do something with that. And I'm like, I don't know. And everything took me a lot of work. I never felt particularly talented. I don't know if this happened to you guys when you were young or when you were practicing, right? You would meet this guy that would say, you would be playing in the class or whatever it is, and you had this at the conservatory. I would have friends, and somebody would say, I would see him play, and he was so good. I was like, how many hours do you practice for that? Oh, I don't practice, man. And in my head, I'm like, what the hell? I have to be like playing the piano for 5 hours to get anything done, And you have that one friend, and you're like, get out of here. So I never felt particularly talented or anything like that. I don't know.
So you were into animation. You were into animation before you wasn't. You weren't even.
I was going to be not an animator. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator, but I did an animation course just to learn how to draw and all that. And and I would go to Barcelona. They had a massive Comic-Con up there, and I would bring my portfolio under my arm at 18 and show to people, and they were like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And I got a couple of pin-ups, and it was going in that direction. And then you get the bug of music, and you're like, if you don't try, you're just never gonna know it. I'm glad I decided to do it.
That's amazing. ¿Y tú, Pablo?
Voy a hablar en español. Gracias.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just forgot. How about you? I just say that's the problem when you.
Just kidding. My mother sang. She always sang, nowadays too. And so when I was like a little baby, I think I was just listening melodies and melodies. And she took us to one theater play with puppets. And after the play ended, the guys that were in the theater company, they said, hey, if you know any kids that want to learn how to play music, there's a school, no? My mother told me that I was like, yeah, I want to go, I'm gonna go, no? So they put me there. Then I remember that the Magic Kings, in one January 6th, they give me a piano. So for me, but was like a big toy. And my relation with music always has been as composing things. I remember I don't know, maybe 9 years old, my father bought an ocarina. And when I take the ocarina, the first thing I made was like a kind of a melody. No, for me it was, and I still remember, the melody. So
How old were you with that one?
like 9 or 10 years old with this ocarina. And my first music band, of course, wasn't, because all the little kids, in the high school join for bands, but they make like covers, and for us was our music. And then I don't know, 16 years old, the film The Piano from Michael Nyman was out. And the only thing, I mean, you have to go to theaters, obviously, but there was like TV commercials for the trailers. So I developed a good ear because I played there was like no, I learned piano, and then I wanted to play guitar, but for me, 6 strings, with different names and different order was crazy. So I began to take out like for ear, songs that I like it. And I heard like this trailer from this film, The Piano, and I was waiting for it just to go running for the piano to try to play it, by ear. But I mean, the emotion of that music with that images for me was, I want to feel that, So that's why I try to get in, because it's like a very long, as Pancho says, it's like a roller coaster, and it's a kind of life. It's not like a like a goal, you want to achieve. For me, it's like more like a kind of life where you can play, because I love the word in English, play music, it's juega con la música, juega, jugar. You have to play with sounds, with instruments, with people, with images, with stories, and I just really enjoy it,
Well said. I think you're muted.
I am muted. Yes, I am. That's fantastic. Come on, Jean-Pierre, because I remember you have a great story about that. You went onto a coma.
Yes.
You were 8. Was it?
I was 10.
You were 10 years old for several months.
For 6 months.
You want to tell us about that?
I had a brain tumor, and at this time you could not survive, but I survived. And I have to say, when I came back, I was not the same. So I could say I feel all of you, and I love who you are. These 4 people are very good people. So what I want to say about music and artistic way, I was first a drummer. I played drum in a band. I was 18 years old, and I have to eat, so I work at the bank. And one day, a friend gave me a piano, and I never stopped to play piano. Never stopped. I never learned, and I do not want to learn how to write music. For me, I want to be free. Maybe I'm doing a mistake, I don't know, but I feel so comfortable with my way to compose. I feel free. I compose a melody in about 2 hours. And at the studio in Los Angeles, they are always surprised because I do everything so fast. I receive something, I am connected, and I give what I receive. And it's a miracle, yes. Every day for me, life is a miracle. I know that. I receive from universe and I compose. And I'm sure it's quite the same for my friends, because it is impossible to explain how a human being could compose music. There is no explanation. It's a miracle. So you have with you 3 guys who did miracle every day, you know, and that's beautiful. And that is why we have to be very humble. We never create, we compose. Because we are not God, we compose. As a chef who cook, we take potatoes, tomatoes, things, and we prepare food. But the way we do that, it is masterpiece. That is the difference with to cook every day. When we compose, it is very important in our life because you know, my friends, how it is essential to do what we do because we compose who we are and we are what we compose. It is the same when we write. And I repeat always this, we are so lucky, so lucky. Could you imagine how lucky we are to do this work? It's not a work, it is a way of life. I was at the bank and I stopped. One day I say, I cannot continue that. And I was with my son alone and I take the risk, but there is no risk. If I think there is a risk, that means I think I am something, but I think I am nothing. So there is no risk, you know what I mean? So I stopped to work at the bank. I start to write poetry. A few months after, I won a literary prize awards in Canada. And I start humanitarian action in Africa, and I did a lot. So our gift, it's not only to write and to compose, it's to give that and to be useless for this world. You know, that is how it is. But yes, I survive, and I know why, because I did a lot. And you know, there is something I want to say. What's happened in Beirut, in Lebanon, 1 month ago? You can see that on my Facebook page. 1 month ago, I say, in 1 month, in Lebanon, in Beirut, a big cloud of fire will explode and many people will die. This is a part of what the gift I have. I am not a psychic. I'm connected with universe. And I could say many things like this, you know. So to compose for me, it's a package. And with this package, I try to help people. I'm sure when the people listen to your music, they feel better after that. And we know that, my brothers. And we are so happy to be able to do that. So yes, never give up. And my philosophy of life is love is the answer. That is what I received at 10 years old when I came back.
That's beautiful. That's great. I'm gonna take a look on your on your Facebook now. I'm all curious. Hey, so so when you got your first chance, your first opportunity, what was your first movie? I know you also have composed for commercials, you have composed for short films, and even for singers. What was your first big break, would you say, even though you didn't become like super famous with that, but like that big opportunity that someone opened for you or someone gave you that opportunity that you felt like, I'm doing something good, something about this?
This question is for me?
For everybody. Let's start with you. What was your very first, your one only opportunity that was like, oh, good, my music has been played in that movie, or my music is being sang by that singer, or that play, or that, what was it?
I don't know who wants to answer, my brothers.
You do it. You, Jean-Pierre.
Okay. You know, I was very surprised a long time ago to hear in France a commercial with my music. I did not know they used my music, but it was a very important commercial. And I listened to my intuition and I listened to my heart. And we have to do that. And the first time, it's when I work with a very famous French singer, Michel Berger, is a very famous French singer. He's dead, unfortunately. And one day I work with him and we compose a song together. The title is Paradis Blanc, White Paradise. And you know, it was 30 years ago and we could hear this almost every day in France. Could you imagine this? What is another miracle is to think when I will be to the other side, the people will hear your music, will hear what you wrote. And that is a part of the gift. But yes, to hear a singer, very famous French singer, sing my song in front of 10,000 people, it was amazing. One day, a great philharmonic orchestra play one of my music. And you know, I was beside the musician, 70 musicians, and I was crying because it was so amazing. And you know, it's not, you know, my friend, it's not only very famous things, because I did a lot too, as my brother did. Sometimes in life, small things are very important. And you receive gift every day from the people, from the public. When I receive today a message from a woman who say, you know, JP, you saved my life. I listen to your music every day and I need that. So that is very important too.
Yeah.
What is important? That's the question.
It is.
And the answer is love.
Thank you, Jean-Pierre. Pancho, how about you? What was that big thing, even though maybe it became very famous, maybe not so much, but someone gave you that opportunity and you went like,
You know,
sounds awesome.
I was thinking, well, you know, the last thing that Jean-Pierre said, what I was going to say is, I feel like for me, at least my experience has not been an experience of turning points. I think it's like incremental steps, right? Small steps that take you somewhere, right? So I'm lucky to, I'm sure all of you are, to be able to make a living of this and not have to worry too much about money or other stuff that I don't really care about other than just making music. I remember, and so to answer your question, it wasn't big. I just remember the gratitude of being in a place, you know, like being in the middle of it, right? So you know, to give an example, I remember, you know, not being able to contain myself being accepted into Berkeley. You know, I remember how that felt. Like there's moments where something happens where you're like, holy crap, you know, like this is happening, and you feel so grateful. And then 5 years later, I moved to LA, and I remember getting my very first assistant job at Jericho. And I was an assistant to a composer, and it was a technical assistant, right? I didn't bring the coffee or anything like that. I was doing MIDI cleanup and stem cleanup, which is fairly simple to do. Like you don't need a music degree to do this stuff. And I remember going home, and I was a full-on adult, like I was 29 years old. And I remember going home, or whatever the week we were, because at that point, a lot of the production now happens way before, but at this point, this was 2006, and you were working on the episode that was going to air next week, the week before, right? The thing was very quickly. And so I remember sitting down on the couch the week after and turning on the TV and telling my roommates, I worked on that. And all I did was just
we know. Yes.
But I was like, I was part of it, and so I think that's what I'm trying to say. You become so grateful that you're able to do anything at all. I never take it for granted. I think, last time Pablo and I saw each other on that other,
in the other panel that we did for the Baja California.
Yeah, I remember saying to Dan, and it's sort of my mentality, is never forget why you got into it in the first place. Don't forget the original love, the thing that had nothing to do with money or success or career. It just had to do with you really enjoying what you were doing, and so, there's been moments like that, right? When I did the ASCAP workshop, it's so prestigious, and I had applied 4 years in a row and I had been rejected. And then 1 year they got me in. I was driving when I was on a light or something, and I got the email or a text, you've been accepted into the ASCA. I had to park because I couldn't keep driving. And this was 5 years ago. I was already 37, and I had to, like, I was shaking. I was like, holy shit, and sorry about that. And and it didn't matter if it would have made a difference or not, but it did make a difference. It was life-changing. That ASCA program was the biggest turning point that I've ever had. If I can point at something that really changed my career, that's the moment. But it was a month long of a lot of work. It's not one moment where you're sitting down. It's just, like Jean-Pierre was saying, one day you're sitting and you're listening to the TV and your music comes on and you're like, hey, wait a second, I wrote that, right? So it's small increments of joy, and you make it, Pablo was saying it very, very nice, is that it's not the goal of it, it's just the process, the journey of just going through it and living that life of a musician, and hopefully being grateful and not taking, because I've known some people that get either a little bit too, I don't want to say greedy, but like they take it for granted a little bit, right? And then all of a sudden, if things are not going exactly your way, then you're like, well, I'm this person, I've done all this already. Why is it not happening for me? It's a roller coaster, man. You're going to go up and you're going to go down, and just count your blessings and keep doing it. And don't forget why you do it. It's just not about the money.
Right. David, cuéntanos, tell us about that very first gig, as maybe it was just like working for someone super cool for a project that probably your work wasn't 100% there, or maybe it was a commercial, a play, a short film. What was it? How did
So
it go?
definitely kind of the turning point for me very early. I'm still really young compared to you guys, and I absolutely kind of cherish your experience and absolutely respect kind of your careers. For me, I still have a lot to go, but kind of getting the scholarship to be able to go to Berklee, because of course it also is kind of a very unique place in terms of who you meet and who you can get connected to. And I knew that if I didn't have a scholarship or any type of help to go to this school, I wouldn't be able to do it. And even someone asked me like, yo, so like, what was your plan B? And I had never asked that question to myself. Like I had no plan B. It was my parents kind of believing that I was gonna kind of put my all into that, and then finally getting it. It was just kind of an eye-opening experience, a beautiful, beautiful experience. And through that, I was able kind of to follow my dream, because the first thing that I had to do in order to get that first gig was be able to follow my dream and the thing that I wanted to do, which is a blessing, like Jean-Pierre has said, like everyone has said. After that, my first film was Between Sea and Land, and it was not the fact that it got into kind of Sundance and the whole experience that was, but it was more the fact that I was able to bring the orchestra and several players that I had been studying with while I was still in school. They were in college, and I was just going to this university here in Medellin to get kind of private lessons and stuff like that. But the fact that they helped me and were a part of realizing and kind of interpreting the music to my first feature film before graduating school, and them kind of trusting me to conduct them to get the feeling of whatever we needed for the film was an experience I still kind of cherish, I still remember, but also a very, very frightening experience. It was like people who are way beyond my age are actually kind of being led by this dude who hasn't even just graduated school. So that was very humbling. And that was kind of a beautiful experience to have people I know contribute to a film that I, at the time, gave it my all. And it is that kind of our life is not getting this award or getting kind of this goal met. It's just impregnating and sharing our music with the world and hoping that'll resonate with the people who watch our films, who listen to our music. And when you show a piece of music to someone and you see kind of a tear just like dangling in their eyes, that's just kind of the whole reward of it, more than an award or more than any prestigious kind of festival. It's just like that is really, really valuable. And that's what keeps you kind of going. Like trying to find the reason you actually work in this industry, I believe is that. Like agalma comes from the Greek of kind of giving and offering something to someone without any type of expecting back, and kind of giving that offering with huge respect and dedication. And I think that's music. It serves a bigger purpose than us.
That is amazing. I agree. It must feel like, oh my God, I made that person feel that way. And that must be like so like gratifying, like, oh, I changed someone's life today.
Even for a second, that just makes it.
Mhm. That must be amazing, whatever you do. Pablo, what was that big break, even though it's only sentimental, or maybe a break into famous, into fame?
Into fame. No, the best one is that my parents were going to get like his 40th anniversary of wedding. So my mother told me, you know, I want a song from you. So I was like, oh, my mother, okay, mom, I'm gonna make a song for you. No, for me it was very nice. So I took a melody from a danzón that I have made for this first film that I made, that I liked that melody a lot. So I put some words in the danzón. Oh, my mother told me, and I want you to write a song for me, but I want to be played with a symphonic, no? And I was, okay, mom, let me take out money from my little piggy, so I can hire the symphonic now. So I write this song, and I ask a very good friend that I love his how he sings, Juan Pablo Villa. So I recorded just with guitar and he's singing, no? And my parents were traveling in the anniversary, so I sent them by mail, and they didn't answer me for like 4 days, no? And I was like, oh, maybe she's very upset that it wasn't a symphonic orchestra, or maybe they didn't like the song, or I didn't know. And then yeah, they called me like 4 years later because they were traveling. No, we love it, very nice, no, whatever, it's okay, yeah, okay. And like 1 month or 2 months later, a friend told me that he wanted to use that song, the melody of that song, in the opening of a like festival in Mexico, in Puebla.
Wow.
And I tell, and they want, he want me to compose something talking about love from the people to the films. So I told him, you like this melody? You know, I write this song for my parents. It's a love song, so it could be like the love that you're trying to make. And he heard it, he liked it, and he told me, you know what? I have a surprise for you. The Symphonic Orchestra from Puebla, it's gonna play it live in the opening. So I asked my fathers to go there. You have to be there. No, nothing more.
You didn't tell them why. You didn't
When
say
the sun began, magic. For me, it was magic.
For you and for everybody, for your parents probably were like, oh my God, our song.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful story.
Yes.
Wow. Did you record it? Do you have a video?
With my cell phone, because there were like a big production and a lot of cameras and big things.
Right.
And they told me, we're going to give you later that. And no, I never give it, but I have it in my cell phone. So I put it on YouTube. It's called Nosotros. If you put Nosotros, Pablo Mondragon, you can see that.
We'll take a look. We'll take a look. And speaking of where can people find you? Because we're coming towards the end, but where can people find you? There's a lot of comments in some comments and questions if you guys want to go after and probably reply to your friends and followers after. There's really not like quite a question right there, but where can people find you? What is like Jean-Pierre, what would be the best way? I think I will say for you two different things, right? Your YouTube channel, if you want to tell us the name, and also Reverb Nation.
Yeah.
Can they find your music, people?
They can find everywhere, Amazon, because Reverb Nation published my music everywhere. And they sent me an email the other day, and they say my music is on 80 countries. So on many support on many websites, and you can listen to, you write my name and you will find many things, you know. You just write my name and you will
I
find.
know your name in the Reverb Nation thing is not very good. They just go by the last name. They put the whole name and 500 people with the same last name will show up, or with the Jean, with the Pierre, but not all together. So I was like, where is he? So I have to go into the link that you sent me. Do you know the link?
Reverb Nation, Jean-Pierre Gresset.
Okay,
.com.
type it
Yeah.
like that. Okay. And on YouTube, they can find you also on YouTube, Jean-Pierre Gresset.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you did not find, because I do that sometime and it
type
works.
your name instead of like the whole link. And,
Oh, yeah.
and
Okay,
a lot of
understand.
Jeans and a lot of Pierres and a lot of Jean-Pierres and a lot of Gresset with another name showed up. So I was like, stupid.
It is complicated to be French.
No, it's not about that. It's about that the website, instead
Yeah.
of looking for the whole three words,
Yeah.
Together it will break them into pieces. So that was stupid.
I am on Deezer, on the Spotify, everywhere. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that depends how you search. You know, sometimes you find, sometimes not. It's bizarre. Sometimes Google is bizarre. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But it works. They will find. If they love me, they will find me.
But do you have a special website like Jean-Pierre Gresset?
No, I don't care this. You know, it's what David said a few minutes ago. Whatever awards, whatever to be famous or not, if we make one happy, we succeed.
That's good. That's good to know.
So where do you come find me? In my heart, in your heart, in the heart of everybody all over the world. That is my website. And our job is not a job. It is a way of life. A way of life. And sometimes we have money. Sometimes we have no money. Sometimes it's very hard. It's not easy to do this. But we never stop. Because it is a way of life. It is not a job. It is, we are born with this.
That's a way.
We have this inside us. And we have to give back this to the world. And it is how it works. So, you know where is my website?
Actor, it's the same for actors. Sometimes you
Yeah.
you have it.
Yes, yeah, it's the same.
Because you don't, you have to do it every day on your own.
I talk about artists, you know. It's I think the definition of art is the communion with being. That is my definition of art. The communion with being. And it is or it is not. We cannot be fake. We know that. My brothers, they know that. We cannot be fake. We are. Nothing else.
Good. Good. Thank you so much, Jean-Pierre.
Oh, thank you to you, please.
Pancho.
Without you, I will never know this amazing guy exists. We will be friends after, because I send a request to all of them. And we will meet one day with you and drink something together and celebrate this.
We will. Probably that's how I met Pancho as well. I never met him. We met via Facebook, and then.
Why you will meet Pancho, please?
Yeah, that's how we met, and now.
Yeah. Yes, I
and
know.
finally his lovely girlfriend, and he met my husband, and we went to.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, say hi to your husband, please.
I will. I will.
Okay, thank you.
Probably listening. So
Yes.
Pancho, where can people find you? I know you do have a website.
Yeah, just panchoburgos.com. That's, if you want to do some music. I think there's a couple albums out on iTunes. If they just Google my name, something should come up, and not Facebook. I don't use Instagram all that much, but if anybody needs to contact me, I think it's Pancho Music, for Instagram. Just regular links.
It is. I'll write it down for you guys on the description. David, where can people find you?
Well, for my film scoring work, mostly my website, also myname.com, David Murillo R, or David Murillo R. And for
R at the end. David Murillo.
Yes, because my mother is always very adamant of her keeping her end of the creation, if you will. But yeah, my film scoring work is over there. If anyone wants to watch, there's also all kind of behind the scenes videos of things I've recorded in the past. And social media is going to be Agalma Music, which has more of the music production kind of credits and work.
Excellent. Thank you. And Pablo?
I love my email, the truth, because it's called Yo Te Hago La Música at Gmail. That means I make your music. So you can write anytime.
Makeyourmusic.com.
Yeah, I makeyourmusic.com, something like that. No, I have a web that I made a lot of time ago. It's Pablo Mondragon. But my music, it's on SoundCloud, just on SoundCloud. And it's SoundCloud/Pablo Mondragon.
Okay.
And I'm Facebook.
Or yoteagolamusica.com.
No, that's my email. Yo te hago la
música.
Gmail.com.
La música at Gmail. Okay. Yeah, I just love Pablo because if you go to his Facebook account, also says, send me your resume.
Oh, yes. I'm a talent seeker.
His expressions. It's amazing. Like, eatvegetablesandfruits.com. Very good. Well, and my name is Vanje Tapia. You can find me in vanjetapia.com. My social media is Vanje Tapia in Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is just my name. And for Actor Slash, it's actorslash.com. And the social media is the same, Actor Slash, doesn't change for all of them. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Actor Slash, just make sure that there's 2-letter S in the middle. And I would like to thank everybody, all of you guys, the 4 of you, for joining. And for the people who's watching, thank you so much. Before we go, I have a question. I wanted to invite a female composer, and to tell you the truth, I don't know any. And I know, and I don't want to sound like I'm so feminist or anything. And Pancho already told me that he will recommend me some female composers next time. But why do you guys think is that? There are really not that many. Is it because they don't get the same opportunity? Because this started as a world of male composers like everything else? What do you think is that? Why not that many women? David, you want to answer that?
I think it has to do with the history of the world. No, it's not just for music, it's for many other things. There are a lot of girl composers. Yes, I think it's because of that. And by the way, I want to say hello to Lilia, that I know you're listening. Hi.
Mario Corona, he just shared our video. Thank you so much.
I think women composers don't get the same opportunities as male composers. I think it's a male-dominated industry, and I think there's steps being taken to sort of fix that and rectify that, but it's a slow process, and unfortunately, they need to give opportunities to women composers. They're just as talented or more than at least me.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Pancho was like, "I'll next time you want to do this, let me know, and I can suggest a couple female friends." So I'm gonna ask you all next time because yes, it will be important to have a little equal. So for those who joined late, because my mistake, even though the poster said we will start at 11, by accident, for some reason, it changed to 5 p.m. on the Facebook event. And I didn't notice until David pointed it out. I was like, oh my God, how could that be possible?
Mm.
But all information and all the description always said 11. The posters, the pictures always say 11. So I'm so sorry because yes, that could have made this a lot of people not show up until 5 p.m. And well, you will be watching this video already pre-recorded. But sorry about that. Thanks again for all of you for joining me. Thank you for the people who joined so early. And next week, we're going to be talking about theater. I have 4 amazing guests that will be connecting from Canada, from Australia, from Broadway, and here in Los Angeles and Mexico. So if you want to join, please join us. And also on Saturday, I'll have some actors slashers, which are actors slash producers slash directors. You know, actors slash is actors who create their own opportunities by creating content. So thanks again, the 4 of you. Les mando muchos besos.
Thank you.
Gracias a todos.
Thank you, everyone. It was
Abrazo.
a very nice meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We
Hey,
stay
like
friends for life.
Like us all. Go and take a look of our fan pages and everything. Follow us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.